I've got 10 members present for the finance committee. We handed out a resolution. Is someone to go with first? Action resolution. Amendment to the JR 16-07 allocating reductions in travel payments from co-leases with Westmoreland Resources. And I'll go over to Gilwa.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'll explain this real quickly and then I'll go ahead and read it into the record, I guess. This is the thing that we had, can't remember when that was, Monday now, I guess, to look at on Monday. And it had blanks on section 1 on the second page. And pursuant to that discussion, we've filled those in to take all the reductions out of gross proceeds tax, 40 cents per ton, and then severance tax, the remainder. That would be 85 cents a ton for the stuff that's sold the rest of this year, because the total reduction was $1.25, and then $1.10 per ton reduction in severance tax for the stuff sold, coal sold during the next 2 years after that, when the total reduction is $1.50 per ton. You should have a red line and a clean copy. Yes. Here's the one that I copied today. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Okay.
Anyway, it's an amendment to JAR 16-07 allocating reductions in tribal payments from co-leases with Westmoreland Resources, Inc. And the JAR reads as follows. Whereas the chairman of the executive branch has authority and responsibility pursuant to the enumerated powers in Article 4, Section 3A of the Constitution and bylaws of the Crow Tribe of Indians, the Constitution, to represent the Crow Tribe in negotiations in matters of economic development. In Article 4, Section 3F, to negotiate and approve or prevent any sale, disposition, lease, or encumbrance of tribal lands, interest in lands, or other tribal assets, including buffalo minerals, gas, and oil, with final approval granted by the legislative branch. And whereas the legislative branch has authority and responsibility pursuant to its powers and duties in Article 5, Section 2B of the Constitution, to grant final approval or disapproval of items negotiated by the executive branch of government pertinent to the sale, disposition, lease, or encumbrance of tribal lands, interests in lands, or mineral assets. And whereas on September 6, 2016, the legislature enacted and the chairman approved Joint Action Resolution JAR 16-07 entitled Resolution Approving Amendments to Westmoreland Resources Inc. Coal Leases to Reduce Tribal Payments in order to maintain the economic viability of the Psalica Mine, which agreement provided for, among other things, certain total per ton reductions in tribal royalty severance taxes and their gross proceeds taxes, collectively tribal payments, during the period October 1, 2016 to December 31st, 2018. And whereas Section 3 of JAR 16-07 provided, quote, that the legislative and executive branches of the Crow Tribe will expressly agree upon the allocation of the reductions in tribal payments between the tribal royalty per capita distributions and the severance/gross proceeds taxes, tribal general fund. Such agreement shall be set forth in amendment to this joint action resolution to be enacted and approved on or before October 1, 2016, and promptly communicated to WRI and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And whereas the agreement was executed by the Crow Tribe and Westmoreland Resources, Inc., WRI, on September 6, 2016, and such agreement contains a provision in Section 4C similar to the above quoted language from Section 3 of JAR 16-07. And whereas after serious and open discussions and deliberations and considering the budgetary and per capita impacts of the reduction, the legislative and executive branches have agreed upon the allocation of the reductions in tribal payments. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Crow Tribal Legislature and the Crow Tribal Executive Branch. Section 1. That JAR 1607 is hereby amended to allocate the reductions in tribal payments pursuant to the agreement to amend coal leases dated September 6, 2016 between the Crow Tribe and Westmoreland Resources, Inc. The agreement as follows. A. The tribal severance tax otherwise payable pursuant to the WRI coal leases shall be reduced by 85 cents per ton for coal sold during the period October 1 to December 31, 2016, and by $1.10 per ton for coal sold during the period January 1, 2017 to December 31st, 2018. B. The tribal gross proceeds tax otherwise payable pursuant to the WRI coal leases shall be reduced by 40 cents per ton for coal sold during the period October 1 to December 31, 2016, and by 40 cents per ton for coal sold during the period January 1, 2017 to December 31st, 2018. And C. The tribal royalty otherwise payable pursuant to the WRI coal leases shall be reduced by 0 cents per ton for coal sold during the period October 1 to December 31, 2016, and by 0 cents per ton for coal sold during the period January 1, 2017 to December 31, 2018. Section 2, that pursuant to Section 3 of JAR 16-07 and Section 4C of the agreement, the executive branch shall promptly forward this joint action resolution amending JAR 1607 to WRI and to the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Section 3, that this joint action resolution is effective on the date of approval of this resolution by the chairman of the executive branch and is subject only to such further approvals as are required by federal law. And Mr. Chair, if I just say a word, I think it would be best to, we would appreciate the committee's recommendation to pass this on the September 29th special session. And I see it's on your agenda in an appropriate manner so that it would be considered first, and then a continuing resolution for the budget would also be passed after that. Clint, did you have anything to add to this? Go ahead.
I don't have much to add to the jar. We can go, if there's any questions on this, we can go through those questions and answer those questions, and then I can either go through how it affects the budget now or after we're done with this jar. The way we've done it is with the 40 cents, that's basically going to wipe out gross proceeds tax, but they'll defer that 40 cent reduction for another year, so it'll really affect next year's budget on that 40 cents. So it's going to give a little bit of a bump in this year's budget, about 1.6 million additional now that we're showing. So it'll be, when I ran the numbers, it's about a 25% reduction now. It's from last year's budget.
So
gross proceeds will be paid next year. And for this first quarter, it's only an 85% reduction on severance tax. But for the following 3 quarters for this year, it'll be a $1.10 reduction.
Committee comments, questions on this resolution there? All right, Ben?
Okay, I'm reading on this, with the full reduction in cuts. It says on committee payments, 1.943 million, is that 107 committee, right? And other committees that are...
Yeah, that's on there. This budget that's been passed out, you'll see there's a $5.5 million deficit. I didn't affect any of those numbers for the scenarios that we went through on Monday, so
Okay, so
we'll
that
still
means-
have to go through and figure all that out for when we do the actual budget. Right now, we just try to do a continuing resolution and reduce each of the 3 branches by 25% of last year's budget for the first quarter. And then, depending on if new money comes in the fall, and when we get Westmoreland's actual projections, then we'll do the budget and see what cuts we need to figure out. If we're gonna cut payroll or committees or 107 or seniors or how we're gonna make those cuts.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So, this continuing resolution, those programs won't be touched then with this continuing resolution?
No.
Okay. I wanted to know because some of these, their interest, that's what their interest is over there. Making sure that the programs aren't cut.
No, they would be cut till the first of the year, once we figured out the actual budget, if they're gonna be cut at all. So hopefully something would come in where we wouldn't have to make as drastic cuts.
Okay.
All right, Tyson. Test. Thank you, Chair. I was going through our bill reading and I see there's already tribal royalties taken out, which I'm in agree with. But I went to 107 this past Tuesday and they brought up a good point. They said that us tribal members, especially the younger generation that have kids, they wait for this to do drugs, to do more math, The ones that are trying to work, trying to make a living have to do a drug test. The ones that are trying to support their kids have to go do a drug test to work or go to college, But, we're so used to hand-me-outs that, like I don't even want to touch this because we're used to that hand-me-out. We need to change our ways because the younger generation is getting too much drugs in our, especially Las Grass area. See these ones that have like 4 kids that don't try to work because they can't even stop the drug. Or they can't even go to college, because they can't stop the drug. They wait for this to cut. They don't spend it on the kids. Kids are still running around with no shoes and they're all getting high and they use that, no matter how much it is, they use it one day. So, I look at it that way too, where you got these younger people, couple raising kids, trying to do good, trying to pass the drug test, trying to go to college. Everywhere you work, it's not just the tribe, but BIA, you work anywhere, you gotta do a drug test. And, like I said, they had brought up some good points. I'm so used to handing outs that everyone's fighting not to touch this royalty, which is going to, like me, I got 4 kids. It's good help. But, I'd rather work to support them. My wife rather stay drug-free. Rather than a couple I know down there that have the same amount of kids, have no cars. Their kids wear the same clothes a couple days. For cat, there's no change in that. They're still the same. For kids, they're still poor. They're out using that money for drugs. Don't see them for a couple days, they're
I think they stay inside with the lights on, but you know, they just brought up some good points about splitting his money and, you know, their suggestion was 50-50, but you know, that's just one district, that's just us, you know. We gotta work as a tribe. I mean, like I said, I support what you guys put on here, but that's just some points that were brought up this past Tuesday at the 107 in Lodge Grass. Oh, it's wild too, that's in there. One of the Lodge Grass 107, but you know, that's a good topic. So I just thought I'd bring that out. Thanks. Paul.
Thank you, Chair. Visiting guest, Bobby. Let's stay the branch employees. I guess what I like to see before I make a sound judgment is I like to see the OST financial report. Monthly? Is it provided monthly, right? Dale?
I don't know, I don't see it.
Which OST on the statements for each of the accounts? There's multiple accounts, I believe they're sent to your guys' branch
All of
at
it.
monthly.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, I believe they're sent over here monthly.
Where is that? OST, they make a monthly report to the legislative branch, Gulf Tribe, and go for a sound judgment. I think we need to look at that. Drawdowns on, or, you know, financial reports on. Hey, Rachel, with. Before recognizes Senator Sean Milberg.
Thank you, Chair. Now, Upsala now, basically, 107 di Bosco will match. You very cool, I guess 1 million a month I give for sure. There are about years for go over that. It is exactly what I check. And there is Bahari Mandi, every big man. What is our legislature? You legislature. After nothing doesn't go good. It's like what you want to get to. And Mawat visit Saudi, Bahari to go out to get the fight. Race Bahari, Makugat group fight. You could fight. Bahari, that's what Kharir will go. You're taking the book. Now, Saudi. Bahari is chicken too. Lagi Bahari is sekolah. Balau di ustaz. Lagi gepus juga. Lagi begitu. Macam sekian iulah kalau boleh cerita saja. Lagi kalau itu grade 107. 107 tu gua last class. Mapu. Ik toen een groot spelen. Die waren ook graag. Ik toen gewoon was die balans en boek in Mahari balans. Pas toen weer. Die samen gewoon ze schreef dat ze. En nu dat je doen. Daar ik de resolution dat ook. Ik first whereas it allocation of reduction of travel payment. And resolution doesn't look like what you go to. And I got over there now. Now therefore, like A, B, and C wrote to get a zero my that from last week to this week, I took travel road to reduce the pursuit. Lagi going a last week authority will go between now and today. Go now well to get I'm a dog here, we're after cool, if I just could go to that transparency, what's it all? Accountability, you know, could go. I'm sorry, you used to do it. On the side, we could get last week resolution, they called it out. It now language based. It had a sound like a plug it. And I get EYL my charge group at Elita. They give us an air go. Then I get most great new place. I get in Bakaria, I just coach full used to. It beats be up to stuff. Again, and road members, districts there, up to Gokma. Very na hills salvat, na used to, na road to Hua, Kulchiru, Ulka Gokma is you. Purpose to, again, authority to reduce, called Hogyoka. Nashkadu, it Rimna used to produce a Kudaku, Dahiru, Shotnairu, Kukiru, to create Bishop Karu, Ijulas. If Dagaze, Alabul Karo, the 1948 Constitution, right? This wouldn't fly. In this new Constitution, Lagi changes Rajiv Goldberger and the chair Sangyu Kurgogyu El Kahadu Kurgogyu to Shikata, Ilahadu play that thing.
All right, what he was saying was that the per capita, when it comes in, like, as the drawdown comes into EIA, we don't know when the tribe gets that drawdown, when the tribe receives the drawdown, it comes in a package, severance, gross, and royalty, the per cap. And then what he was saying was that when it comes in, how do we know that per cap's not going to be touched? You know, that's where the transparency, accountability kind of comes in, where, you know, the percentage that comes in for per cap, like the way you broke it down, and then where the cuts are at. But then yet, how do we know that, you know, it's actually the numbers, you know, like that?
For per cap, when we have to submit the 1034 to OST with the amount of per cap, the amount of enrolled tribal members, and I could have EJ print one off right now and bring it over here for the last one. So that's what they base off of what gets distributed to the tribe, and then usually that actually hits the bank account one day before per cap, all the per cap checks go out. So if that money wasn't in the bank or used for different purposes, all those per cap checks would bounce at the bank. There wouldn't be any money for them. And in those OSD statements that are sent over here, they'll have the per capita accounts in there. I believe it's like 2,700 at the end of it. And so you'll see when that draw comes in. Well, you'll see the large payment for the royalties. Usually, royalties come in monthly. And usually the month of per cap, there's a large royalty payment that'll come in right on like November 30th. So like before per cap, when everybody's asking what the amount is and we can't release it until like December 2nd, we'll know the amount. That's because we're waiting on that last royalty payment to hit that account. And then we find out how much that actual royalty payment is. But that you'll see that on those statements, and then you'll see the distribution usually on the 8th of whatever month per cap goes out, or if per cap goes out early, then it'll be on like the 6th.
Leishan. Then, I see that, well, I was said, who, what child? I gave me, well, I was sick. Finance department, you take that. And when I gave her a party, my much well, touch your watch where you was to cook. And you got you did they must eat it. My whole but touch you cook. And when I give it each and the head stuff, 100% of the royalty. I'm sorry, get used to did I now? I gave Westmoreland royalty, that total amount of that. They finance the suka old there. Now legislature was suku gaga. Now, but Samen Karevokul Kargo. But Samen Evokul Kargo old there. Kargo used to Kargo salary. Again, however, then legislature, they notify this to nobody Samen Gaga. Well, to the here this Gaga. Not black and white today. Now, official documentation from Westmoreland on the road to get Gaga. Louisiana, let me express it in English language. As I was expressing that within Westmoreland, the total amount of royalty received from Westmoreland, there needs to be financial documentation on the total amount of royalty that's being received. Documentation needs to be provided not only to the Crow Legislature, but to the Finance Department. And when that total amount is provided, at that point in time, that's going to be the total amount of per capita that's going to be distributed to that enrolled membership. Because on that last resolution, it expresses a reduction in the royalty payment on the last whereas, and the last resolution that was approved, when there was only 4 that went against it, it still gives you authority to reduce it. So based on that information, that we can take a look at it again, and I can read it to you if you need be.
Yeah, why don't
And based on that information, look at it. Now, Bawa, the Shulgaga legislature. Again, Ishawahaja, Bakare, Major Chat, Ishpala. He was good to Kago. Again, no road to get it. Some of it, Dala, in Gaga. Now, the microphone's got it all right. Chairman, the language then exceed tribal royalty 0% there you go. The Mahawavis, they do. Last resolution next a couple of push code. They could pick the B and C will go. I gotta make a motion that tribal royalty documentation from Westmoreland needs to be submitted to the Crow Legislature, to the Finance Committee, and that this tribal royalty, 100% of this tribal royalty needs to be distributed to per capita to the total enrollment. That's my motion. Kunyala su ribate. The chair lagay su kuribate. The lagay. The lagay su lagay go the chiwa gnawale. El tao go salga.
This jar is been assigned to the Natural Resource Committee / Finance Committee in regards to the overall reduction and how it's going to be applied between the three. Additionally, we have a amended jar that's in your packet. which is entitled the interim budget for the first quarter of 2017. And there's some language there that addresses the question, which is, let's see, section 3, and I'll just read it out, but I do believe we could probably put that motion there for the recording. Section 3 states that all mineral royalties paid to the credit of the Crow tribe shall be directly deposited by the Office of Special Trustee in a special tribal revenue account separate and apart from the Crow Tribal General Fund and shall only be available for expenditure for the purpose of per capita distribution to the enrolled tribal membership. Any additional mineral royalties received shall also be directly deposited into the special revenue account described herein and shall be distributed via per capita payments to the enrolled tribal membership. So first part of the question is it separated and can executive ever use that for general fund? Probably not with that language. However, we could probably add the reporting in there to the legislature on those drawdowns for per capita. So I guess that would be the more appropriate place to add the reporting.
Thank you, Dawn. I think that that's good information. The information needs to be provided to the Crow legislature before the royalty and the per capita is distributed, so that the legislature does know the total amount of per capita being distributed. Right now, there's no transparency because the only information that I receive on how much per capita is being provided to the membership is usually by Facebook or hearsay.
Okay, I did the per capita when I worked at the BIA. And the money that comes from Westmoreland, whether it be severance, gross proceed, or royalty, it all comes in 3 different checks. It's not combined with one check. So based on the royalty sales, let's say for September, that check will not come in until October. That's how it always worked. And when that royalty check hits BIA, it's deposited into its own account. And when that money accumulates, then the OST would tell the executive how much the per capita will be, how much we can distribute. And people are trying to say that I was accused of putting all the royalty money into the general accounting, the general fund, which I never did. It's all hearsay, politics. They said per capita was going to be $25. It's all politics. There's no way in the world that I could move that money into the general fund. Once that money hits the BIA, whenever I close out, 2 months before the per capita distribution of December 10th, then we move that money into the per capita account at the First Interstate Bank. And that's how we disperse the money. So who's ever saying that we are trying to do our royalties right now, that's not even true. That would be political suicide. I've been hearing Canada saying that they did away with your per capita. No, that's not the thing. That's not the thing. We are here, everybody, to help the Crow people. We keep saying that. based on that resolution that was adopted last week, that resolution last week that we adopted, if that resolution was not adopted, they would have closed down the mine October 17th. And then there would be no revenue at all. No per capita, no gross proceeds, no severance. So in order to avoid that, that decision had to be made. To me, that was a good decision. It was a decision to keep us going. All three branches, legislative, executive, and the courts. But we had to make a choice to reduce rather severance or the gross proceeds. We, the executive, are not in a position to touch the per capita. That's a choice that we have decided. So to clarify that issue, but once we make a decision to reduce the gross proceeds or the severance, again, it's going to affect the tribal budget, but all the three of us. The three of us are going to have to make a cutback somewhere. The three branches of government. So whoever is saying that, hey, this is I tell you, I've been working in finance for 38 years. And by God, when it comes to money, I'm a very honest man. So it's God, but you get it. Oh.
Thank you, Chair. What I was expressing is that I know that OSD and the Bureau of Indian Affairs notifies the executive on the total amount of royalty, but the clarification that I'm expressing is that notification also is provided to the legislature of the Crow Tribe. And right now, on every financial transaction, transparency, all these different financial information, drawdowns and things like that, the legislature is excluded from that kind of information. So based on that, I move to include that in section 3 as stated by Don, our attorney representing our position. And I think it's only accountable to write that language in. And if there's anybody against it, maybe they can express their information, their position right now of the legislature.
I guess the thing we could provide is the 1034 for the drawdown for royalties to legislature, if that's what's needed. But I'm under the assumption that the OST statements are already provided to legislature, so you can already see all the royalty payments that were made. Plus, you can see the per capita distribution. If I could grab one of those statements right now, I believe it says right on there how much the actual distribution was, what the enrollment was for that time period, and the amount that went out for that per capita. So that comes directly from OST. It doesn't even come from executive. I think does it come in the form of a CD, do you know?
No, it's on that form that Paul J, Rachel gave Paul J, that's the one we receive every month.
Yeah, and it's PL account 7452706. So 2706 will be the last 4 digits. This is a copy of the 1034 if you guys want to look at it. BIA reviews it and approves it. The chairman signs off on it, and then the superintendent signs off on it, saying that what the tribe is stating is per capita distribution, 13,911 members at $210 per member, $2,921,310. And then there's 8902 holds is what we call them at $210. So they reduce, BIA holds it back in the IIM accounts over there, this 18,000 until that gets sorted out. So the distribution is 2,902,620,000. And if this document is not correct that the chairman signs, BIA will reject it and we'll have to redo it. EJ can talk to that a little bit. Plus their enrollment department verifies with the tribe's enrollment department that we're coming up with the same count for enrollment. So do you want to talk about the process?
Yeah, see, like, that's not the one we get. We only get that one where what's deposited into the account.
Yeah.
That's all we get.
Yeah, I mean, we can give you a copy of this OSD. This is just a drawdown document. And we can do that, that would probably be on the 5th when we submit it to OST to actually get it. But usually we're waiting to submit this to get the enrollment calculation correct on it.
So basically the first step, before we even get to the 1034, I believe last time I talked about it, we have to come up with an enrollment. And I told you on average, it was probably maybe about 70 people every new per cap. We were talking about the last time I spoke. So basically we tie out, we figure out how many people passed away, how many new babies, how many new applications, how many even have the blood quantum. And we basically come up with our number. This last one was 1911. Yep. Ours was 911, 13,911. So once I get this form, the person that used to do it was Janice Morning, but I think she took a leave from work the last couple times. So the person I'm working with now is Charity Bird, and this was her first time working on it. So Charity will concur, that's her, like what he was stating earlier, she will say, yes, this is how many people applied. We do have 72 people that applied this last time, so your numbers are correct. So we have a total count. Then, once she confirms that, she'll let Denise Stotts know that we have the same numbers, like we're not off by like 20 people or something like that. So then once she confirms that, I'll get this form filled out, and these are the 1034s that we draw with. So these are the same. The other form he was talking about was the BB document, but that just states these children are in social services programs throughout the country. They're in foster care, basically. So their money's sent to their IMM account until they're like of age. So with the 1034 form, all I do basically is have the chairman sign it, take it over, give it to Denise Stotts, and then she takes care of it from there, and then she gives it to Vienna, and then it goes on to the region basically. But it's a lengthy process because there's times we're like one person off. You know, BIA might have missed someone that we have on a death list, a deceased list. So we have to go back and forth because I think this last per cap was the earliest we were ready for per cap, but it still took a week to get everything finalized, the paperwork, to get everything in order. But yeah, it does take time. It's a pretty lengthy process, so.
Yeah, and then once all this is done, the draw comes in usually a day before per cap. So per cap's going out on Friday, that draw will hit the bank on Thursday afternoon. The checks are already being put in the mail on Thursday, so it can be semi-stressful from my perspective if that draw doesn't come in. Usually EJ's refreshing the bank account constantly to see it come in. And then checks are out, all that money's pretty much gone through that bank account within a week. I would say 80% of that money is cashed at the bank and is in travel members' hands.
Yeah, I guess to back up to what Tron was saying was, you know, he made a request, you know, going back to the root, you know, Westmoreland, and seeing the actuals from them, you know, once, you know, OST executive, they received the, you know, the amount that we want to be right there too, receiving that information also to the finance committee. So, you know, so we're all on the same page. We know what's coming in. You know, just for transparency's sake. You know, I mean, all this is, you know, it's all fine and dandy, but we want to know what's coming in from their mouth, you know, from the horse's mouth, basically. Without Sean.
That's right. What we're expressing that the legislature and us representing our enrolled membership, the legislature needs to be part of this process. Right now, we are not part of this process, and the total amount of royalty that comes from Westmoreland, that is also documented within OSD and Bureau of Indian Affairs, they need to be part of that process. And based on this information, the enrolled membership has a right to know what their per capita distribution is going to be, and that they have a right to know that they are receiving 100% of their royalty. And that's the position that I've been standing on, and that's the position of the total amount of enrolled membership. And the thing is, we need to maintain that. And that's our position. And we are going to add this language But if there's any legislators who are opposed to this, they need to speak now and express their position so that their enrolled members need to know this information.
Go ahead, Carson.
That's thank you, Chair, members of the Finance Committee. I just wanted to say a few words. I think we're very fortunate to be part of this negotiation because we're actually overstepping our boundaries in the Constitution. The executive has to negotiate, and we just pass law. We're asking for a little bit too much, I think. It's good for accountability, transparency, but being part of this, I think we're fortunate to be part of this, where the severance goes, royalties. I just thought I'd bring that up because, it says right there, we just pass law and they negotiate on the other side of the part there. So I just wanted to bring that out before we get too far in this.
Yeah. All right, then, to Washington, okay, you want to budget process, the budget choose wallet, section 3, the language, motion that budget process, as soon as no budget, no finance, they will go when the meeting. Process reduction then percentages as a committee
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to get an opinion from our legislative legal. I guess I'm hearing two things here, Brandon, a bit like you're talking about, this is none of our business. They need to divvy up themselves, and so the executive said it's a joint action resolution. And so then now, Senator Grove just talked about another version. And so if you can give me your opinion on what's right, a joint action resolution or a constitution, which one's right, constitution?
The other day I kind of brought up the discussion regarding that, and I resolved the issue yesterday with the executive attorney, Bill Watt, and the JAR, and I kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier, the JAR is in both of the committees, Finance and Natural Resources. The JAR reflects only the reduction to keep the line open. That was how it was initially viewed. And then we had the JAR actually presented, and it had 3 breakdowns, which was severance tax, gross proceeds tax, and tribal royalties. So that was kind of the issue that kind of brought up the issue of per capita. With the amendment that was read a little while ago, per capita is 0 reduction. So it's going to be divided up between severance tax and gross proceeds tax, according to what was read earlier. And so the JAR is only to accept the reduction and to ensure that per capita is not touched. So that's in that jurisdiction of the Finance and Natural Resources Committee. Now with and I think that's constitutional to make that decision with this JAR. So now we have to draw the line and say, okay, now how is the budget going to be amended? And that's in the Finance Committee jurisdiction. So with your packet, you'll additionally see the FY 2017 interim budget, and that'll be a separate discussion. And so with regards to approving the budget, now we're talking about the enumerated authorities under a CLB. So they negotiate amongst an executive branch how they're gonna reduce it, the annual budget, then they'll present it to us for approval. We're not necessarily gonna be negotiating that, in a sense of, drafting the budget and presenting it. That's what they're gonna do. When it comes over and when they present it to us, then we will make that decision on whether to accept or deny it. And we've been through that several times, especially during December. We'll have a number of finance meetings to discuss approval of where certain money is going in the general fund. So it's certainly two separate things. So the first one is the JAR, which is the agreement between the branches to accept the reduction. Second part of that is how does that reduction apply, but that's by CLB, and that'll be presented by the executive for the legislative approval. So, and we clarified that with the executive yesterday, that we cannot discuss any finance changes without the proper authority of the CLB. And I assume that's going to be brought up shortly.
Thank you, Don. Hold up.
Thank you, Don.
Good. Hold up. Blushuruna, reduction, value and percentages there. Severance tax, those proceeds, and they, we were look on reduction like the 0%. Wait for it and visual and budget there for the Wait, Sean.
Again, na issues a contract didn't go na royalty percentage is going to walk you na royalty is walk you. I mean, percentage paid us like travel service tax over there, and then travel gross proceeds are walking with. Like na bookish going Westmoreland. He's out now because issues the contract today 2018 valid now all the deals so the bookish he's out now. You can go say. Well, the good now my I'm getting the difference in the he's out now the revenue I'm saying but let me be watching answer that just was expressing the pro language that the difference between the reduction, what is their justification on that revenue that they are saving by not providing this revenue to the Crow tribe on severance tax and gross proceeds.
Senator Wilbur, I am probably not competent to answer that. I was not involved in the discussions with Westmoreland on it. I think from all that I hear, and what Mr. Stern said in here, they just want to get to where they can break even rather than losing a bunch of money every year on the Absalica mine. And this $1.50 reduction, I guess, will allow them to sell coal at $13.50 a ton and come close to breaking even if they can get the additional contract. So that's my understanding. I don't know if you add that.
Yeah, that's why they asked the tribe to take the reduction, because they weren't competitive in the coal market right now. They needed to get to the $13.50 price range in order to secure those additional contracts to be able to make the mine profitable or break even for them. I mean, it's just business. They're not gonna. No business is going to operate a business at a loss. Eventually, if they run out of cash flow or they're losing money, it's going to get shut down. And regardless of if they have other mines that are making money, it's just like McDonald's. If a McDonald's has 5 McDonald's that are profitable but one's losing money, eventually that one's going to get shut down and the other 5 are going to keep operating and making money. It's too bad it's like that, but it's just business to them. They have shareholders that they have to report to, that they have to answer to. It would be just like if Yellowtail Market was losing a bunch of money, or some entity of the tribe was losing a bunch of money, you guys would be asking me questions. Why do we keep putting money into it if it's just losing money? Like, why don't we close it down? That's where they're coming from on that. But also within that agreement that you guys passed for the reduction, there is a stipulation in there that they're required to secure those additional sales, those additional contracts. If they're not able to secure those additional contract in tons, then that agreement is void and the reduction does not occur. And based off all the analysis, those additional sales will actually bring more money into the tribe. Actually, without affecting per cap now, per cap would have been before the agreement, I think around 3.7 million for the whole year out of coal for the tribe. Now it's going to be around 5.2 million. So with this reduction, actually per cap is going to increase for the tribal enrollment if they're able to secure those additional contracts.
Right now, once we pass this, then they'll go out and try to obtain contracts, right? And that's-
Correct. Yep. They'll wait for BIA approval, and then I think they have the contracts lined up. They're just waiting for the go-ahead to get them. From what Scott said, and I'm sure he'd be willing to come back and explain it again and give an update just in his negotiations. They had a couple that were actually 3-year contracts, which would be a good sign because that would actually push the line out to 2019. So it's showing that they're trying to keep the line open and move ahead into the future, and hopefully the coal market rebounds.
John?
Thank you, Chairman. Then, the chair, what do we touch a mashi gaza, right? Because go east, na Mawanaje, here east, here na percentages today, Kosik here the much. Na here them, what he will go here the much, go back and go all large at the feasibility, do the scenarios, up page each that get the Ekyo, touch a rejoice to be milk, Tagash, and Oku, go here, Lage, touch a rejoice, go Lage, na tribal government, that's what government, na stability, might say go there, Lage, na, then corporations could do. This Kubede read to Mahindi read to name nice what I looked at the plant that they missed me, get that here. Mazab say, and the Mr. You, build no profit bagels, no bullish bagels, Salga, hours, put the hut and plant that they missed you, get that is. It's just super. If you guys are open, go give that. At some point in time, I was expressing that the two different scenarios on the increase, how it's going to affect the plant, on the decrease, how it's going to affect the plant. Looking at those two different types of information, feasibility on these two different scenarios need to be taken a look at and analyzed. And right now, we don't have that information. And I know that many times with these individuals, when we go to some type of instruction, some type of training, some type of higher program, that we get that kind of information. And right now we don't have that kind of information. We just got information coming from Westmoreland that this is this and this and this, but we don't have that information, that kind of documentation. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree on that. We've provided this wrong Pincock and Monarco. It's an independent coal analysis feasibility study that was done by Casey Capter. It's been provided a few times now in packets where he does go through the two cases and evaluates whether the tribe actually took this reduction and whether how much money is going to come in with the reduction, and if the tribe rejected the reduction. Let me see if I can find it in here. I read it in the session too. So like right on here on page 507, he says, hence over the 2.25 years from October 1st, 2016 to December 31st, 2018. Which all combined production is about 4.5 million tons greater under the royalty reduction case than under the status quo case. And the tribal royalty receipts are about 5.74 million more